175 of the Hoots podcast. It's Thursday, October 3rd, 2019. Hope you guys are having a wonderful week. I am just about, 15 or 16 hours away from heading out to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which should be a very fun trip. Besides that, with probably the busiest week of pro wrestling ever going on, we're still finding a way to talk about professional wrestling as we do every single week here on the Hoots podcast. Really quick, for those who are listening or watching us for the first time, my name is Josh Lopez. You can follow me on Twitter at the Hoots podcast. I'm on Instagram at Joshie Lopez 94. If anybody likes to see my guitar covers, you can also check that out on Instagram at Josh Lopez Music. Business-wise, make sure to subscribe to the Hoots podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play. We're on like 12 different streaming platforms, so you can find the show very easily. Just type in Hoots podcast. I am alongside a good brother of all good brothers. This man reached out to me the other day during his break, conducting the musics.
Doing something of that nature. Yeah.
Doing a very good job, by the way.
Thank you.
Here is the one and only director of operations, the one and only Derek Stoughton. Yeah.
Yes, he's back. Oh my God, the director of operations has made his triumphant return after I don't know, when was the last time I was on? Was it the summer?
Money in the Bank.
That's right. So it's been a few months. So, well, again, quarterly evaluations. That's what us people up in upper administration do. I've got my clipboard right here, ready to take some notes. I'm ready to go. Listen, it's time for your performance evaluation as it is. Now, I noticed conspicuous by his absence is the Clown Prince of Pop. He knew he was in trouble. He knew he couldn't handle the Thoughts of Dericho, a live edition of the Thoughts of Dericho. So he couldn't be here, and I get that. Listen,
God.
Adam, I know. Listen, I would be afraid of what the Thoughts of Dericho are all about too, but no, I'm just kidding. Adam's a good brother.
I'm picturing what AJ's response would be to that right now.
See, the thing is too, and I love AJ. She's great.
Yes.
But the Thoughts of Dericho truly is the flagship segment of the Hoots podcast. You have all this stuff. You have the 9-year-old, and that's fine, and that's all well and good. But the Thoughts of Dericho is where the money is. The Thoughts of Dericho is what brings people to the Hoots podcast. The Thoughts of Dericho is what gets people through their day. Should I just stop now before?
Yes.
Okay, I'll just stop and move on.
Yes, please.
No, it's good to be here, man. It's good to be here. It's good to talk to you, man. It's been a while.
Yeah, I was kind of concerned we're probably just going to do the annual Money in the Bank.
Oh no, man!
With
not after this week. Not after what is perhaps in many people's eyes the biggest week of professional wrestling in, you could argue, the last 10 years. So I wanted to make sure that we had the opportunity to visit about it because it's a lot going on. So it's really exciting time to be a wrestling fan.
I'm going to make this clear really quick as we go through more shows as the weeks go by during this NXT AEW thing. Just out of the gate, just so I'm transparent with you guys, it's going to be a little harder for me to be like being the comparison guy because I'm meticulously like breaking down everything that's happening on the show. So a lot of the fan element discussion from my point of view, it's going to be hard. I'm going to tell you what I like and don't like and this and that, but you're probably not going to see me come out here and dish out hot takes or speaking hyperbole over stuff that's going on in the shows. I mentioned this a couple weeks ago. No matter what's going on with the ratings, I know the Wrap just posted a couple minutes ago that AEW had a pretty good outing and they beat NXT in the ratings last night. Honestly, that stuff really doesn't matter to me at the end of the day. And we're going to get into that as we go on with the show today. But also, not only NXT and AEW is going on, tomorrow night, as we're recording this on a Thursday, it's the 20th anniversary of SmackDown, and it's the debut episode on Fox. And we're going to talk about that towards the end of the show and make predictions. Yes.
Yeah.
For Hell in the Cell that's happening. Hell in the Cell that's happening in Sacramento, where my sister lives right now. So give a shout out to my sister Alex.
Well, does this mean we're going to get another rock concert Because The Rock likes to come to Sacramento, but at the end of the day, and he's going to be there, but at the end of the day, The Rock is going to leave Sacramento.
One of the funniest segments in my childhood.
Oh my God, it was great.
I'll be sure to come back when the Lakers beat the Kings in May.
Well, and that has, I don't know, Josh, if we want to get into some basketball stuff, but that could happen again this year too, because the Lakers. Well, we can talk about this, but I have no idea who's going to be good.
Sucks,
huh?
That roster sucks.
I don't know who's going to be good in the NBA except for the Pelicans.
Who cares about the NBA anymore?
No, you have no idea. The NBA only matters once we get to the playoffs.
Correct.
The regular season in the NBA does not matter.
I just hope the Bulls could find a way to get an 8 seed or something this year, because I'm tired of skipping the playoffs. I want to see them actually in the playoffs.
Well, Hoiberg is now Nebraska's problem, so you don't have to worry about that.
All right, we are going to touch some sports here. As the show goes on. You know how it is when it comes to show, guys. It's just genuine back and forth conversation. We really don't go by a script. But before we get to AEW and NXT, I have a question I wanted to ask you. And I thought there was an interesting talking point from one of my mentors from broadcast school, Jonathan Hood. He has the Tuesday Wrestling Tuesday podcast, which you can listen to on ESPN 1000. Hoodie brought up this point. Is SmackDown moving to Fox the biggest thing WWE's done business-wise since WrestleMania? And that's the question I want to pose to you guys. Respond to us on social media. I know it's a broad question, but think about it. Starting the network, WrestleMania, other things WWE's done over the last 40 years. Is this move on Fox and the promotion that's getting, is this the biggest thing WWE's done since the original WrestleMania?
Wow, that's a good question. It's tough to dissect this, because I think in a lot of ways you're talking about apples and oranges here. You know, because you've got WrestleMania, which when Vince started that, it was just going to be a show and a WWE show, and it's turned into a pop culture phenomenon. ESPN covers it on a weekly basis. I mean, people talk about WrestleMania on all of the different. They were talking about WrestleMania on Sunday Night Football last night because the game was in Jerry World. No, I'm sorry. The game was in New Orleans, but the Cowboys were playing. But they talked about, the big events that had happened in Jerry's World. We just had a couple of years ago, we had WrestleMania 34 in New Orleans. For those of you that don't know, I live about an hour north away from New Orleans. Yeah, brother Adam, you and I were there, and you got to meet the brother of Jericho, which we could talk for hours about that. But but I think that WWE now, in the first time, is on one of the major cable networks. A cable network that is broadcast as one of. You could consider it's one of the 4 free, quote unquote, premium networks. Fox, ABC, CBS, NBC. Right. They're the ones that have a local affiliates all across the country. You don't have to pay for that. So WWE is getting prime time coverage on a major television network. So again, I think it's kind of an apples and oranges question. Yeah. But you could certainly put it top 3, besides WrestleMania or the WWE network. Absolutely.
Well, let's also not forget about being publicly traded too.
That too, sure.
It's a very interesting question. I just look at Vince changed the pay-per-view structure in the 80s from closed circuit theater and television to regular pay-per-views into now how it is with the network. I think the best answer to that question is, hey folks, the business is not dying. I don't think it can be stated how big it is to have a WWE platform on the main Fox channel. Is it the perfect day of the week to have SmackDown on there? I don't know. That's up to whoever it is. For me personally, I don't have kids. I don't begrudge people who have kids or are busy with jobs. I understand that you guys want to enjoy your weekends. Trust me, I don't like staying up to midnight Chicago time covering Impact every week, but I got stuff to do.
You are a braver man than I.
The thing is like, a large part of my childhood in teenage years was SmackDown on Fridays. On UPN, Sci-Fi, USA Network. It was 2016, I think. That's when we first started doing appearances on Wrestling Rumors, and we first started this particular podcast. That's when that's when SmackDown was still on Friday nights. So, as much as 3-hour wrestling shows are going on and a lot of the more programs come on, it hasn't really felt like 3 years, but it has been 3 years, so it's not really that much of a long time. It's just awesome. I can say that this is the biggest move since WrestleMania. Let's see how it goes in a couple years and how long it is. The fact that Becky Lynch is appearing at halftime of NFL pregame talk shows with Terry Bradshaw and Kurt Menefee. On another note, like Bray Wyatt having the Fiend flash up during the Saints Cowboys game on NBC. That's the awesome thing for Raw too. So I know a lot of the discussion is, will SmackDown now become the A show? This is bringing WWE up to a next level. That's what the conversation should be, because Raw is still going to get a lot of money, still doing 3 hours every week on USA Network. Fox is still getting what they want. I think they said they put like multiple billions of dollars into this deal with WWE.
It's a $1 billion deal, yeah.
It's crazy, man.
Well, if you think about it too, though, you've got, yes, it's a 2-hour show, but with you could say now that wrestling, because it's now being aired on Fox, is the 5th major sport. Because on the major networks you've got football, baseball, basketball, and hockey are all aired on the 4 major networks. Right. Now you're adding wrestling being aired on a major network. So could you make the argument that wrestling is now the 5th major sport? And there's a lot of wrestling fans, man. I mean, there's a lot of fans that are not only, amongst, people our age, but a lot of celebrities like professional wrestling, a lot of athletes like professional wrestling, and they own it. I mean, what was the NBA player that just won the 24/7 championship not too long ago? Yeah, right. So I mean, it's you could say it's becoming a 5th sport, even though we all know it's scripted and we all know it's purely entertainment. But it's there's a level of, especially now with Brock Lesnar is going to be over there. We'll get into that here in a little bit, but he's kind of a believability. He gives some credibility because he is a believable. What he did to Rey Mysterio on Raw and his son, like we're like, whoa. Okay, Brock, take it easy there, buddy. So there's some believability there.
I just think it's ignorant to say that wrestling's not mainstream anymore, because that's just not the case. I know WrestleMania is a big deal, but literally they're dominating every social media trend that day or that weekend in general. NXT shows getting more conversations than major NBA games on the weekend, or the start of Major League Baseball season.
Wow.
Bombarded with wrestling. I know baseball is not entertaining anymore. That's the chore of chores.
I know.
I know. But let's move on really quick. Let's talk about this. So I was looking at it the other day. I had somebody ask me, how are you covering all these shows every single week? Like how you do it? Starting this week and through the rest of the fall, I think there's around 8 to 11 wrestling shows a week, starting with Raw on Mondays, even for people who are still watching Ring of Honor, which, hey, man, I'm really concerned about the future about Ring of Honor. Sinclair Broadcasting dropped the ball. Let's just say that, because what AEW is doing right now, and I think Bully Ray said this, and it's a really good point, ROH could have been doing the same thing that AEW is doing right now.
Of course. And ROH had the momentum too. They didn't capitalize on it because a lot of people were hyping ROH and they couldn't, people. I haven't watched ROH ever, really. I mean, I've seen occasionally if I'm flipping the channels and Happy comes on, okay, cool, but they don't have you're right. ROH could have absolutely jumped on that, and they didn't.
I don't get ROH weekly television here in Chicago. I don't get
really?
It. No.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because if you're going to ask me who analyst I'm a failing as an analyst or whatever, but I couldn't tell you who the ROH champions are. I couldn't tell you, but you're right. So that is scary. Like, what does that mean for the future of Ring of Honor? Heck, but yet somehow Impact finds a way to survive. Like, how does that happen?
Impact's taking the old SmackDown slot now.
Tuesday nights, right?
Yeah, Tuesday nights. So we were having this conversation yesterday. You're telling me it's cool that everything's going on right now, but even then for you, like with your schedule, you're not going to be able to catch up with all the shows. I'll talk about my point of view for this, but just give me your thoughts about all the shows that are going on. Is it too much? How are you going about this fall with everything that's going on?
Well, it's, and I was thinking about this too. There's a lot of different angles you can talk about with this. And if I, by the way, if I cut in and out, I apologize. My internet connection is a little spotty, and I'm sorry about that. Okay. But so I was thinking about this too. If you think about it, if you've got the real diehard fans, right? You got Raw on Monday, Impact on Tuesday, right. AEW and NXT on Wednesday. So you put one of those Wednesday, you watch one of those on Thursday. On Friday, you've got SmackDown. Sometimes on Saturday, you've got an AEW pay-per-view or a takeover or something. And then on when was that?
New Japan.
New Japan. Okay, great. And then on Sunday, you've got a WWE pay-per-view. Like, you literally could watch professional wrestling every day of the week. And that's, you just add it up real quick, 3, 5, 9. So that's, let's ballpark 15 or 16 hours of professional wrestling every week. Like, no one's going to be able to keep up with that. So that's going to be tough. Yet at the same time, you have people that will watch football on Thursday. If they want to go watch high school football, they watch it on Friday. All the college games on Saturday, all the college games on Sunday, NFL Monday night. Sometimes now in the Mid-Atlantic Conference, they have MAC games on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. So, does that compare to what football is doing? And then same thing with basketball. There's games every week. Baseball, there's games every night. So is this another argument that WWE is becoming a legitimate fifth sports brand?
Well, think about this. Major sports fans carve out almost 20 hours of football between Saturday and Sunday. So here's the thing where it makes me laugh. When people like make a big deal about SummerSlam or other major pay-per-views running too long, people will spend nearly 10 hours, Derek, to watch NFL on Red Zone all the way through the Sunday Night Football game, depending if your local team's on that primetime game or not. Right. So I don't know. It's kind of it's a double-edged sword, and I think it's all about consumption in a way. Sure. I think it's easier for football fans because they have Red Zone and switch it to different channels, and you're not just watching one thing. But with wrestling, it's not always just one thing. Maybe you're watching one company where you got different styles of wrestlers, you're getting different type of feuds. I think that kind of gets lost in translations in a way. I was mentioning this a couple weeks ago. I think a lot of people take for granted what WWE produces as their product because there's so much that we digest every single week, and we're not looking at it for what it is and not looking at the long-term picture of certain things. So, yeah, WWE is the only thing in town, and then you start buying into perceptions of ways that they're producing their product. And I'm not saying there's one way or another way to look at it where all WWE does is wrong or all WWE does is right. I just like what I like, and if there's something I don't like, I don't talk about it because it's wasted energy. So that's how I look about it. I'm not saying you can't be critical. I'm not saying you can't say that you wish it be more entertaining or have more sense of urgency with the shows. But I think a lot what goes on with WWE gets taken for granted because it was the only thing in town domestically.
Sure. The other thing you have to remember, Josh, you talk about the football thing. Yes, some people will watch 10 hours of football either on a Saturday with college or on Sunday with the NFL, but it's only one day, and it's on a weekend when most people aren't working. So, again, it's you're trying to keep up with everything. It almost feels like at the end of your day, okay, now I have to watch wrestling. Now, and again, if you're true fans, it doesn't bother you. It's like some people think, great, I finally now have something to watch on Wednesday night, on Thursday night, or whatever. So there's no right answer to this, But it is a good topic of discussion.
Here's the thing: I would rather watch an extra wrestling show than being stuck watching a dumb political network where we're gonna have senseless debate for multiple hours. You know what I mean?
I can't. We don't even want to get into that on this particular show.
We're not a politics show.
Oh God, no.
Oh God, man, it's a cesspool, especially what you read on social media these days.
Nope. I get my news from the Associated Press the most because that seems to be the most down the middle. Just give me the facts and I'll come up with my own opinion.
All right, here's my stance on this thing. When it comes to my point of view, I think a lot of it is a little skewed differently because I'm transcribing the show, so it's not really a fan element. I treat it as a job in a certain way. So it's something. It's a grind. I'm not gonna lie. These last 5 to 6 years of doing podcasting and articles have been kind of a blur for me, and weeks and days go by really fast. And there's times where I'm burnt out during the year from all the wrestling that I'm covering, not just one particular company, but even for myself, I have to find ways to carve out time for other stuff too. I love playing music. So on a Saturday, which is like probably my slowest day of the week, if there's not a pay-per-view going on, I'll take time to relax and listen to music or do some guitar covers, you know. I work late nights on Monday and Tuesdays at the tattoo shop. And during the day, if there's like an event that I didn't watch live, like a Japan show, I'll do that Monday morning, but I still got time to myself before I go to work. So my schedule is very different from the common person that's waking up at 7 o'clock in the morning, doesn't come back home from work till like 5:30 with kids and bills and all this extra stuff going on. And I'll never begrudge anybody who goes through that schedule because I don't have those. I'm not in that situation, and I'm not saying I don't want to, but I think because one thing's the norm doesn't mean it has to be my reality, you know. Because I'm not married doesn't mean that I don't apply myself or I'm not doing anything, you know. We were having a conversation before we went on there, and I showed Derek a lot of what I do besides podcasting and stuff. Yeah. And it's a mental grind. It is, but I try to make the best out of it. So, go ahead.
As I say, you know, you always refer to yourself as a student of the game, and it is like, I mean, this is, you know, and you have to do something. You know, it's like a Jericho or a Matt Hardy. You have to constantly be reinventing yourself and keeping with the times. Right. You know, you got pro wrestling transcriptions, which is, from what I can tell, not a lot of people are doing that, if anybody. So you've brought something unique to the marketplace, which is a great thing. The Hoots podcast is doing well, you know, because you've stuck with it. You know, that we know a lot of shows that they have podcasts and again, that's no fault to them because life happens.
Right.
And, you know, I'm never going to fault anybody for having to take some time away from, you know, I don't do a lot with Wrestling Rumors. I mean, I do some, of course, and I still write a few articles when I can here and there, but I've got other things going on in my life right now. And it's just reality, you know, and, you know, we want to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves and keeping ourselves healthy and all that kind of good stuff. But no, I think what you're doing is absolutely terrific, Josh. And it's exciting to watch you grow and become, you know, the broadcast journalist that you are.
I appreciate that, man. I think you met me when I was 21 or something.
I did.
Like that.
Yeah, we sat at the Potbellies in Chicago. You remember that?
Yes. Good times.
That was good times, man. I still have that picture of you giving me the CM Punk X. Mm-hmm. We should talk about that at some point too. The whole Punk thing.
Yes.
You don't need to be given that. Well, it's your show. It's your show. You can do whatever you want, but I don't want to. Anyways, never mind. The Chicago. I'm going to get some hate mail from the Chicagoians coming up for it.
Chicago has the most insecure sports fans in the entire world.
Have you been to Philadelphia?
Philly is trash. I already know that.
No, that's what I'm saying. But like they're more insecure than the Chicago fans, aren't they?
No, that's just Philly being Philly.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I think Chicago tries too hard to be like New York or Boston. That's another discussion for another.
Yeah, we don't have time. Otherwise, we'll be here till this week's show will be 3 hours long, and your viewers will be like, "Okay, come on,
pipe bomb,
wrap it up there."
A pipe bomb episode.
That's pipe bomb.
So going back to this, like when it comes to WWE shows, I already accustomed to what the entrances are, so I don't have to watch them. A lot of times people get bogged down by, I gotta sit here for 3 hours and sit through commercial breaks. And I keep telling people, man, it's not like it was in the 90s. You're not required to watch a show at a certain time. You could carve out an hour and a half for Raw. I get home from work at 10 o'clock from the tattoo shop. Mondays and Tuesdays kind of like the slow days, so we're not open that late. This is a little backstory for where I work here in Chicago at my uncle's tattoo shop. So I get home around 10:15, go into the Raw article. Maybe I watch a couple things here and there while I was going live, but I'm not watching the entire show. So if there's like a backstage interview or a promo or something like that, I'll take it from the YouTube channel and put it on the article. When it comes to in-ring promos or matches, I'm transcribing all of that, every part of it. So I'm skipping through the entrances. I'm skipping through the video packages. I kind of have a good base of how I want to format my articles. I think you kind of noticed that from checking them out in the past.
Right. Yep.
So basically with what I do is it's just a point of reference. Here's what happened. I'm not telling you why this was booked the right way or the wrong way, and I'm not giving out Meltzer stars or anything like that. So it's easy.
But Josh, Meltzer's the gospel. Why would you not? Okay, anyway, never mind. Why would you want to?
Don't even get me started with him being on the AEW Countdown show the other night.
I saw that. Come on, man. Like
Tony Khan, Dave Meltzer is not going to bring you casual viewers.
No, nobody knows who that is. No. Okay. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, so I just want to say this, like when it comes to the WWE shows, it's easier for me to digest and take in and go through faster because I know what the entries are already and I'm going past it. And if you realize it, I think about 15% of most WWE shows, especially Raw, is entrances, video packages, and backstage stuff. And the rest of it is talking in the ring or matches. So it's easier for me to go by it. So I'm not watching Raw for 3 hours every week. Sometimes it's an hour and 30 minutes. Sometimes it's an hour and 45 minutes. It's not the end of the world for me. SmackDown, it could be an hour and 10 minutes. There's been times where I covered SmackDown in 50 minutes.
Wow.
So, find a way that fits your schedule and watch wrestling on your terms is a suggestion that this is out to everybody. And this is a great time where you can pick and choose what you want to watch. The constant going on Twitter saying, "Oh man, I can't wait for another company to be around. Oh, I don't have enough options. It's always WWE, everything you see every single week." Hey, you have no excuse now. You can watch whatever you want on your own terms now. And I'm happy that Impact Wrestling is going to be on Tuesdays on the old SmackDown time slot. Nobody wants to cover or watch wrestling shows to midnight Eastern time. Friday night.
Right.
No. We got NXT UK now is going to be on Thursdays, which is a good thing.
Did they move that to Thursdays?
Yes.
Okay, that's actually a good idea because you put NXT Live on Wednesday. Okay, so that's what you can watch on Thursdays. You can watch NXT UK when you get home. Just pop on the WWE Network, and that could be your Thursday show.
Yeah, I covered NXT UK today before we went on air today. So
perfect.
Check that.
Dude, I saw my first. I don't know if I told you. I saw my first NXT UK pay-per-view, the Cardiff show, a few weeks ago. It was awesome. That was one of my favorite pay-per-views I've seen in a while. That tag team match was incredible. The Welsh brothers, that was awesome. I love Walter. Man, Walter
I love his song.
Yeah, the Dvorak Symphony. It's awesome. And Walter is fabulous. NXT UK is great. Tony Storm, Kaylee Ripley, they're all great.
Nothing beats the grizzled young veterans.
The grizzled young veterans.
So there's a lot of wrestling. If you count a pay-per-view week, it could be around 18 hours.
I know.
That entire week.
That's a lot.
It is a lot.
That's a lot. But again, like you said, pick and choose what you want. And that's another reason, and you and I have talked about this multiple times, rating anymore, because that's not how people, ratings don't matter, because that's not how people get their content anymore. They get their content on YouTube. They get their content on DVR. I know WWE also posts the most important clips of the week on their YouTube channel. So you just go and you can just watch, if you really want to know it, or just watch the top 10 moments. And then, okay, I know what happened on Raw that week. Great.
Right. Plus, with this show, this is a podcast. It's not First Take. It's not The Herd. It's not any of these shows where that stuff matters and you have to bring that type of stuff in. You rarely hear me talk about rumor stuff because that's not my concern. Same thing I treat with athletes. Leave personal issues for those athletes. Leave personal issues for the wrestlers as well. There was an article on the Chicago Sun-Times the other day saying the Bears owe the fans and the media a response of why Roquan Smith is going through a personal issue. No, we don't.
No, we don't.
We're not entitled to anything.
No. And that's a personal issue. Like, there's some things we have to remember that all of these people, all of these athletes, movie stars, whatever, they're people too. And sometimes they just need some time. Sasha Banks took 4 months off because she just needed some time away. And she's come back and she's looked awesome. And me, I was not really a Sasha Banks fan. I'm in on Sasha Banks, man. She's been killing it lately. I'm loving what she's doing with Becky Lynch. It's great. She just needed some time away to recharge, and she's back, and it's awesome.
The waterfall hair works, man.
Oh, yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes.
I just don't know why there's still a general ignorance towards mental health. Like every single week, people like to diagnose here in the city of Chicago, try to diagnose the confidence of Mitch Trubisky. And I've never seen this before, dude. Ever since this kid got drafted, the city has gone out of the way to boo him, they openly want him to fail. Openly. I listen to sports talk radio and people can't tell me that I'm lying. I hear the phone calls, I hear the conversations on there. It's kind of like the jealous girl in high school that's gonna pick apart every single thing about another girl that's with the dude that she wants.
Right.
And that's how it is with Mitch Trubisky. And it's so freaking ridiculous and embarrassing in a way where, if he ever becomes one of the best quarterbacks in the league, I just want him to do this. Every single in the city of Chicago, seriously.
Right.
And I will always root for people that get taught down to or misunderstood for reasons that they're not responsible for. How are you going to say that this guy's going to be an abject failure? I don't know how a guy who's a Pro Bowl alternate is supposedly a horrible quarterback, and people on NFL Network this week are saying, oh, Chase Daniel is a better option than Mitch Trubisky. Well, I would hope an 11-year quarterback would have a better knowledge of how to read defenses than a guy who's in his second year of being a full-time starter. I mean, right. And it's always wrestling sports context always goes out of the window, and that's the biggest thing that annoys me.
Sure. Well, again, you keep bringing the argument, you talk about the mental health thing, but again, that could be another argument that WWE is becoming seen as a legitimate sport because people are trying to bring the personal issues into the public eye, just like they do with football players, basketball players. That's
right.
So but you're right. Let athletes have their personal lives too. They deserve it just as much as all of us.
Let's talk about NXT and AEW.
Great.
What shows did you watch in order?
So this week I watched. So I got home. I get home late on Monday nights, about 8:30. So this week I ended up getting home late. I didn't get home till about 10 o'clock. So I actually didn't get a chance to watch all of Raw. I kind of sped through Raw, got caught up on the YouTube clips. So I know what happened, and I watched the important segments. I watched the Brock Lesnar segment. I watched the Miz TV segment. I watched the very end with the Fiend coming out. Well, the Bobby Lashley and the Lana thing, and so I watched all. I got the gist of what happened.
Yeah.
So I watched that. I watched a couple clips of NXT. I did watch all of AEW just because I wanted to see what it was going to be about. It's new. I wanted to see what is AEW bringing to a good show. It was it wasn't the savior of professional wrestling that a lot of people thought it was going to be, but it was a good quality show. You have good athletes. I thought the Cody match was a good way to open the show. The Young Bucks are a very special talent. There's no question about it. Nick Jackson at the end when he was flying all over the ring, that was awesome. The women's match was very well done. So AEW is going to bring something to the table that's different. Josh, you and I were talking before. It does kind of have that WCW vibe to it, with Schiavone on there, and then them acknowledging the fact that they've got, it's the first time that it had been on TNT since 2001, which I think was cool. But no, I thought it was I did enjoy the show. I'll definitely check it out again. But it wasn't the savior of professional wrestling that everybody thinks it was going to be.
Right. I the one critique I'll have from AEW is I don't know how it's going to be with 3 play-by-play commentators on one commentary booth.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong. I liked hearing Tony Schiavone and JR on commentary with each other. I thought they sounded good from what I heard last night. I thought they did a good job. Excalibur at times kind of hit and miss for me when it comes to his stuff. Just for I think I transcribed every AEW show that's gone on so far. Mm-hmm. And this could be the first time where I have to keep track of wins and loss records, and I don't want to do that.
I was going to ask you, Josh, what do you think about the wins and losses that AEW is? Because they're promoting that wins and losses matter in our company. So what do you think about that?
I think that's something to appease the Meltzers and Wade Kellers of the world, to be honest with you. I know that Tony Khan wants a sports presentation feel, and that's fine. I think you want to form your own identity and be different from other wrestling companies. I'm not opposed to that. Sure. Just be consistent about it. And here's the thing: when certain talent, I want to see if people point out 50-50 booking situations, because it's going to happen sooner or later. Not every single person that you like on their roster is going to have winless or big time win-loss records. It's going to happen sooner or later. And there's a concern about wrestling having a conflict of interest when you have the boys in the front office and EVP shares and booking,
right?
booking committees where one wrestler will say, "Hey, man, this was Kevin Sullivan's fault for why this didn't work out in WCW." The next week, oh, it's Kevin Nash's fault, and then somebody else the next week. So when it comes to the win-loss records, it really doesn't matter to me.
No.
I think you can gauge who's over by crowd reactions, not what their wins-loss records are. So, I mean, it's cool that it appeases those fans who live and die by wins and losses. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It just doesn't appeal to me. It's not something that's going to bring me into your show. It's not a drawing factor.
But because, it's a cool idea now, and it's like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. But what happens 2 years from now when you have a wrestler who is 18 and 46?
That's my point.
Yeah, which is, and what if it's, let's just say someone like Pac, who is obviously a very talented wrestler, but what if he's 18 and 46? Are people going to say, oh my God, AEW is falling apart. Pac, who is this genius, is not getting pushed. He's got 46 losses. Why is he not, and then everyone's all of a sudden, poo-pooing AEW for the same reasons they're poo-pooing WWE, because their person isn't getting pushed. And you can, and the proof is in the win-loss record.
For example, how can you push MJF? He's 20 and 13.
Right. Exactly. But yet MJF is one of the most hilarious. Dude, awesome. He's great. I'm a big MJF fan. He's awesome.
I don't know if you play Dungeons or Dragons or not. I don't, but
no, me neither.
Last night was absolute gold.
Oh yeah, when he was making fun of Brandon Cutler. Brandon, what was his name? Brandon Cutler, is that right?
Yeah, Brandon Cutler.
Yeah. So they're making fun of him for being. I thought that was hilarious. That was great. MJF is awesome. He's great.
I love Jay and Silent Bob.
That was great. That was good.
That interview, however, was not good.
No. Thank God Private Party was there to bail him out a little bit. But yeah, that was.
Really got a crowd response. There's not much visualization and promotion for Private Party because guess what? They've been on the pre-shows for all the shows they've been doing so far.
Right. I will say though, and I don't know if I should read, but the Elite entrance, when the Elite came out, they didn't get the huge pop I thought they would. Moxley got a pop. Of course, Moxley got a pop because we haven't seen him in a while. And then when Jake Hager made his, why can't I think of his name? When Jake Hager made his return, like that got a huge pop, obviously. And the fans chanting "We the People" I thought was hilarious. That was great. But the Elite didn't get a huge pop. Jericho got a decent pop as the champ.
Well, he came out earlier in the night too.
Well, that's true. Santino and Ortiz, I almost called him LAX. Santino and Ortiz got an okay pop, so it's, do we need to even read too much into that? Or now that it's I don't know.
Here's the thing. I thought they did a good job building the Chris Jericho, Cody Rhodes title match that's happening in Full Gear. I thought that was good. I really enjoyed the Hangman Page Pac match. That was really good.
That was a good match, yeah.
One thing I'll say though, this is the only thing I didn't like about the show. The brawl with Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega was good. That should have went off air.
Yes, absolutely. Because putting him through the glass table, like that's dang, that got a huge reaction from everybody. But again, you wanted to. So does this mean that they're going to push Jake Hager as a big star then, if he was the one that closed the show?
Well, here's the question: with the guys standing together to close off the show, is that a faction now?
I don't know. Is that are they there to protect Jericho? That's a rub to Sammy Guerrero. I'm doing horrible today with names. Sammy, what's his? I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry. So I apologize to everybody that's listening. You can take it out of my payroll listen, as director of operations, I'm busy managing the books and I'm busy managing, all those things. I'm not, yes, the talent, all that kind of stuff. That's fine. But I'm busy managing the books and doing the promotions and stuff like that.
It's okay.
But that's a great rub for him too, to get to be with, all these established stars. So I can see it being a faction to try to protect Jericho. Because Jericho is obviously doing amazing work. You can make the argument that Jericho is continuing to be the best he's ever been with his work. Yeah, the list stuff was amazing too, but Jericho looks incredible. He's doing great work with that too. So props to AEW for you can build a company. Oh, we all know you can build a company around Jericho. There's no question about that. But so I don't know. I don't know if that's a heel stable. Then does Cody have to put together a team? Does the Elite and Cody, and they have to get somebody else to, maybe MJF can tease around as that fifth guy along with the Elite and Cody I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Goldust had a good pop.
Yes, that was cool. That was cool. As yes, I like how you called him Goldust. That's funny, and not the natural Dustin Rhodes.
Hey, one time, this is a little behind the scenes thing. I actually typed in Neville one time while transcribing the Page match. I see him too, and I see as he was sometimes I think of him as Adrian Neville and not just Neville. Because a lot of what I do is repetition, obviously, with the articles. So it's stuff that's triggered my head. I did a number of his matches on 205 Live and stuff. So
right. Well, hey, speaking of 205 Live, Josh, and I want to get your thoughts while I'm thinking about this is, what do you think of the Cruiserweight title being rebranded as the NXT Cruiserweight title? And that, because I think I saw an article today that on WWE.com, they've changed it to the NXT Cruiserweight title. So what do you think about that?
I think it's a good addition. I think one thing WWE has going for them as opposed to AEW is that they could pick and choose whoever they want for the separate brands in WWE at any time and put it on the main NXT show. That's the great thing about NXT UK. Hey, maybe one time you'll see Undisputed Era against Flash Morgan Webster, Mark Andrews, and that'd be an awesome match, right?
That'd be incredible. Yeah. Well, Cesaro came back and did a match at NXT UK Cardiff, and it was great. It was a great match, and the crowd loved it. Like, that's great. I like how we're starting to see some of the main roster stars coming back. I mean, look at Finn Balor. Like, Finn Balor being back in NXT is a huge deal for them.
Yes.
For them too. And I mean, it's always had credibility, but it's you got a main roster star coming back. And I think that they can do a lot more with the Demon character and all that kind of good stuff. So I think Finn Balor in NXT is an excellent move.
Yeah, and then we'll see how long he stays down there. I think obviously the assumption was he would come back and join the OC and turn into a bad guy. But if he still wants to be a good guy, originally I thought Kevin Owens was going to be the guy to show up in NXT. But now with that not being the case, kind of changes my thoughts of how things are going to happen tomorrow with him and Shane McMahon in that ladder match.
Right.
So,
it could still be, though. I mean, it still could be Kevin Owens going back to NXT. There's nothing saying that Finn Balor and Kevin Owens can't have a rivalry in NXT, another rivalry in NXT.
And again, like I mentioned earlier, this is a great thing for WWE where Triple H could pick out anybody from Raw, SmackDown, even guys who are not even on television. Come on down. Even do like a 2-week thing,
Now, this brings up another interesting question is with NXT. Now, are we going to start to see NXT matches featured more on WWE pay-per-views and not just takeovers? Because NXT is now a live show just like Raw and SmackDown are. So does that mean that brand has to be featured on a regular WWE pay-per-view?
That depends because obviously we got the draft coming up for Raw and SmackDown a week after this Friday. So I don't know if Raw and SmackDown are going to have their own separate pay-per-views again, That's something you have to be on the lookout for.
Would you like to see that?
I mean, there's already there's no new wrestling show that I'm not going to transcribe. That's how I look at it. It's like, okay, I could like moan about it, like, oh, do we really need separate Raw or SmackDown pay-per-views? I don't know, but it's still wrestling. At the end of the day, I'm gonna find a way to transcribe it,
right.
or just watch it in general. But if you're having like a Big Four show like Survivor Series or Royal Rumble, I don't see why you can't have like an NXT title match during that show or something. Or even like an NXT North American Championship match, something like that in between. I'm very curious to see how they're going to go about the Royal Rumble this year because they're not doing a takeover before Royal Rumble this year.
That's right.
They got a Worlds Collide special that I don't know what that's going to be, but it's going to be pretty dope.
Could they include Progress or Evolve in that potentially if in the Worlds Collide since they've got that partnership?
It's not a bad idea. I'm not opposed to it. A couple things that stood out to me last night from NXT. I really like Io Shirai. She's a really good wrestler. I thought her match with Mia Yim was kind of long. I know NXT was doing the thing with how you say it? Limited commercial interruptions, so they had a lot of picture-in-picture spots during the show. I think a lot of the commentary is missing from the show last night because so much picture-in-picture. I guess that's the thing they wanted to do because obviously AEW was on at the same time and they had their own picture-in-picture thing.
Right.
So there wasn't a lot of commentary though, too. I just thought at certain parts that Mia Yim Io Shirai match went a little long. Other stuff that I really like Velveteen Dream, his little Velveteen experience thing he does is always pretty funny.
He's incredible, dude. Velveteen Dream is incredible. Mm-hmm. He's taken that character and has run with it, man. It's awesome.
You want to talk about incredible? My favorite match of last night for both shows was Adam Cole against Matt Riddle for the NXT Championship. That match was insane. Sure. Bro.
Yeah, the original bro.
I know every time he comes out, everybody's expecting Goldberg to come out and spear him.
Could we get a one-off between those two at or a spot, like, because I know Goldberg's trying to. I've read that Goldberg's trying to come back, and
I got 2 surprises for the Rumble. You have that interaction in the Rumble match, and B, Booker T comes out in the Royal Rumble since it's in Houston.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah,
no, that would be Matt Riddle and the Goldberg thing would be amazing in the Royal Rumble. That would be incredible. I like it. Oh man.
Johnny Gargano had his first match on NXT. His match with Shane Thorne was pretty good.
Well, Johnny Gargano never disappoints.
Yeah, I just don't need to see him in every main event of a takeover. He's good though. He's a fun watch.
Right.
What else? Pete Dunne and Danny Burch was all right. Nice little different style of wrestling there. Candice LeRae and Shayna Baszler's NXT Women's Championship match was good. And then the Street Profits, they had their entrance with Wale, and that entrance was extra lit.
I'll have to check that out because, like I said, I didn't get a chance to watch the show because I was watching. I got home real late last night, and then I was out and about this morning. But I watched AEW again because I wanted to check it out. But also check out that entrance. I'm sure. Well, dude, the Street Profits are awesome. They're great. They're so entertaining.
We want the smoke. We want the smoke.
Glad to see Tommaso Ciampa back. That's terrific. Him and Adam Cole could have a good program. Though, how does Finn Balor fit in? Because it looks like both Finn Balor and Tommaso Ciampa are gunning for Adam Cole.
I'm glad you asked that. I don't think it's going to be a triple threat match. I think it's going to be Cole and Ciampa on their own, and Finn Balor against Johnny Gargano.
I like that. You've got the current hero of NXT versus a former hero of NXT. So it's, because, they can very easily play up the Gargano being, I never left. I never left. I was here the whole time. You went off and you're the first Universal Champion. Great. Blah, 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 blah. I never left NXT, but you came back because you knew that this is where the place is to be, but I never left. So why should anybody care about you? And I mean, that story writes itself.
Yep. And the next takeover special is going to be here in Chicago for Survivor Series weekend.
Excellent. Excellent. That should probably be the 23rd, I would think.
Yeah, this is the first time I'm going to see a War Games match in person.
Very cool. You have to let me know how that is.
Me and you actually went to probably the best takeover of all time, actually.
We did.
New Orleans.
That was a great takeover. The 6-way match for the North American Championship was awesome. The Gargano Ciampa match was incredible. No.
Black and Almas.
That's what it was. Yeah. Well, Black and Almas was for the NXT Championship. Yep. And then Ciampa and Gargano was unsanctioned, I think.
Yes, you had that correct. Yep.
Yeah, that was a great show, man. The crowd was popping for that. I wish our seats were better, but we got tickets last minute. So
it was fun. When it comes to the ratings between both shows, it's very hard for me to get to that dialogue because just from what I know from the media business, those numbers are so all over the place with Nielsen, and it's just not accurate stuff to even debate about it. I saw somebody put a tweet out earlier saying, "Oh, numbers don't lie." What is that supposed to mean? Numbers do lie if you're only going off of Nielsen.
The first thing you learn in statistics class is numbers. You can make numbers seem whatever you want. Numbers, you can manipulate numbers however you want to make the data more in your favor. So it's
same thing with broadcasting. You can have an opinion. That doesn't mean it's fact.
As long as you say it, as long as you say it loud enough, people will think it's fact.
That's a good point.
I mean, well, anyways, again.
Before we get to this week in WWE, anybody you want to put on the list?
Who do I need to put on the list of Jericho? Let's keep talking. The only person I would put on the list is Adam Daly because he's not here, and he knows that he doesn't want to debate with the director of operations. He knows. But no, keep talking. I'll think of somebody to put on the list. But
I have one nomination, and his name is Brad Shepard, or however you pronounce his last name.
See, the problem is though, being put on the list of Jericho is an honor, and you don't want to put Nimrods and stuff on.
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? It's an honor to be put on the list of Jericho. You don't want Nimrods to go on there. It's always a time to bring back the Jan Club for him.
Well, I was going to put Dave Meltzer in the Jan Club again because he put out this dumb tweet the other day saying that no WWE star is bigger than Kenny Omega. Are you kidding me?
Seth Rollins, Brock Lesnar, then Kofi Kingston, Becky Lynch, Roman Reigns. There's 5.
As much as I'm sad about the big wrestling podcasts going away, the fact that people still go to him and guys like Disco Inferno as the authority of all things wrestling, it's just not good. It's not good. Let's talk.
How did they become? Sorry, I was going to say, how did they become the authorities? Who gave them that? Right.
I don't know. I'll admit I have no respect for what Dave Meltzer does. I don't. From a broadcasting point of view, it's very hard to listen to his show. Not because I disagree with what he says. It's just not good to listen. I don't want to listen to him on these airwaves. Right. The guy's condescending. He's arrogant for his own good. I could say the same thing about Brian Alvarez, his co-host.
Right.
Those type of people latch onto each other. And then Disco Inferno, just playing the old guy. Everything about wrestling is bad. We need bra and panty matches back. He thinks the only thing good about professional wrestling is the draw was what happened during the Monday Night Wars. Hey, I grew up during the Monday Night Wars, and not everything about it was awesome from both companies. So
and you can't do that in today's market. You can't have bra and panties matches in today's market. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. And you can't. Again, you go back and watch some of the old matches, and I mean, we grew up with that, so we were like, oh my god, this is so cool. But the matches were fine. There wasn't anything Hogan is one of the biggest names of all time, but by and large, he's not a good wrestler. Hulk Hogan is not a good professional wrestler. You see his matches with Sting and with, Sting and Flair, and those guys made him look good because he's a legend. But Hogan just had the name. I don't know. That's just my thoughts. But
let's talk about Raw really quick.
Okay.
What did you think about the new stage?
I thought it was great. I like the new stage a lot. A very modern feel to it. Mm-hmm. I think it's really cool. I like the curve going into the video board.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. I'm glad we have, I know it's a small little thing, but I'm glad we have Pyro back. I think that adds a lot to it. So I think that's really cool. I like how they stacked the Pyro so it's got multiple levels and not just on the stage, but on the sides too. So I thought the new stage was very, very, very cool. Very well done.
They call it the LED skateboard when you don't have everything on.
Oh, okay, cool. I like that. Do you think we're going to see that tomorrow night? Same stage for SmackDown?
I don't. Only because it's a Fox production. And here's the thing with WWE now. They have obviously television on Friday and then on Monday. So it's kind of, I don't know, I guess it's kind of easier for the production crews to make those changes with the sets. Mm-hmm. Also, you have the house show in between.
Oh, right. Sure.
I love the new stage. I think it's really cool. Vic Joseph being on commentary with the King is a nice change up for Raw.
That was going to be my next question. What did you think of the commentary team of Vic Joseph, Dio Madden, and the King?
I thought it was pretty good. I'm already accustomed to what Jerry the King Lawler is, so it doesn't really surprise me when he does it. Every something crazy happens during a match or something like that. So I know what it is. I know for whatever reason Jerry Lawler gets under the skin of today's wrestling fans for his style of commentary, but he was part of my childhood, so I'm already accustomed to what it is. I've only heard Dio Madden for a couple times on 205 Live, so that's going to be an adjustment period for me. I think Vic Joseph is 100 times better than Tom Phillips. I love his commentary on NXT UK and 205 Live, so I couldn't be happier for him, and he's done a really good job. Even that time he replaced Corey Graves with Michael Cole and Renee Young.
I remember that.
He did a really good job.
Who? And again, I didn't get a chance to watch this week, but or have they shot 205 live yet, or are they going to do that
tomorrow?
Okay. Do they know who the commentary team is going to be for that? I know Aiden English, I would assume, but
I think still the same 205 live.
Okay.
Unless it's Tom Phillips, Byron Saxton, and Aiden English.
I had wondered if they would put Phillips and Saxton on. Though I gotta tell you, man, I'm gonna miss Corey Graves giving it to Byron Saxton. That's just
I don't know why Saxton's not on SmackDown.
All Saxton's job is to be the butt of Corey Graves' jokes, because that was amazing.
Didn't like Graves call Saxton romantically inadequate or something like that?
No, because Graves and Cole, they crack each other up all the time.
Yeah,
Saxton into the mix, that would have been incredible.
It's gonna be a little adjustment period for me, because now I have to wait almost the entire week to hear Corey Graves on commentary.
I know. But Graves now finally has some time to relax. He doesn't have to do Monday followed by Tuesday. His travel schedule is insane.
Well, I'm very excited for this WWE backstage show that they're doing on FS1. It's not produced by WWE though. This is a Fox produced talk show. So
right. So do you think it's going to be similar to a Fox College Sports type show?
That and mix of Talking Smack too, probably.
Because it's Renee Young. She's the main one. Who else is it? Or is it just her?
Her and Booker T.
Booker T. That's right.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Speaking of things that are pretty cool, man, King Corbin's the man.
Yes. Dude, as soon as they announced the King of the Ring tournament, I said it's going to be Baron Corbin, because that is the perfect role for him. King Corbin is brilliant. I love it.
Did you see his throne broke?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Oh, that's great. My
favorite part of the whole thing with Bobby Lashley and Lana doing the tonsil hockey session was him and Randy Orton laughing their ass off on this side.
Yes. Oh, that's great. What do you think about that?
I like what Paul Heyman's done with Raw over the last couple of months. Are every show's great? Probably not, but you get that with a week, 52-week television show.
Of course,
there are different elements you do notice on Raw that have changed since he's been behind the scenes.
Oh, I like it. I like it too.
The stuff with Maria Kanellis is funny. Yeah, you're still getting some edge here and there, and you get more romantic angles, and that's fine. I don't know where it's gonna go. Honestly, the thing that happened with it was like Rusev and Summer Rae and Lana and Dolph Ziggler, that feud, that didn't go so well a couple of years ago. I think there might be some legs, though, with Bobby Lashley in a Rusev feud.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely.
Actually.
No, I think it's going to be great. Well, you remember they tried to do the Enzo Amore and Lana feud a few years ago, too, and that was...
Yeah, Enzo invited Lana to his hotel room or something.
No, Lana invited Enzo, and then Rusev was
and then
Rusev was there.
How ironic that Flair was on the same show on Monday.
That's right.
By the way, man, I'm not a Hogan guy. I'm not, but I had to admit that segment with him and Flair where they're like, you want to have one more run at the 24-inch pythons, and how that crowd ate that entire segment up.
It was an awkward segment for me, but yeah, they were all about it. And when Flair started getting into his woo woo, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, son of a gun, woo, he when he was going back into his thing, yeah, he was ready. No, the crowd was, and then he did the you, and so. I don't know. I know why they're doing this, because you need star power at Crown Jewel, over there. So I get it.
It's an attraction match in the middle of the show. It's not going to mean event it. Who knows? No. Who knows?
Well, yeah, because but then what do you do for Survivor Series? Because this is basically a Survivor Series style match, I think. Unless they're not doing the elimination
tag match.
Yeah. So they're not going to do elimination format. Okay. So, this is, like you said, this is an attraction match, and that's completely fine. You can do that for the one off, and then that's going to be a crazy travel schedule for them too, because you've got because that show is on the 31st, which is a Thursday. Yep. And then you've got Friday Night SmackDown on. So are SmackDown stars going to go over there, or are they going to stay in the United States? Well, they can't, because Randy Orton's going to be, unless Randy Orton's going to be on Raw. So how does that all going to work? Do they immediately jump on a plane and then just go right to SmackDown? Like, how does that work?
That's very intriguing. Well, obviously you got the time change in Saudi Arabia, and then how it is traveling back. So
right, but still, I mean,
if anything, they'll give the towns the weekend off if they're on that SmackDown show the next night, or whoever's on that show on Crown Jewel, you could do like pre-tapes the week before and air that on SmackDown.
Right, but again, if this is a Fox produced show, does Fox want their stars to appear live and not doing tape segments?
Yeah.
Does that work?
It's interesting. I want to see how that works out. But what else stood out for me from Raw? Viking Raiders are awesome, man.
Yeah, they are.
If we don't get Ivar on 205 Live sooner or later, I'm gonna be pissed.
305 Live, baby. 305 Live. So that was awesome. Cedric Alexander continues to impress. I'm glad he's getting his time on the main roster to show off. They haven't really gotten him in a. I don't know what he does past AJ Styles, but I like that. I thought that's great. I like that they have a little bit of a feud going.
Supposedly he's getting buried on Twitter.
Yeah, well, everybody that loses a match gets buried on Twitter. So,
yeah.
What do you think of the? I guess that'd be more of a SmackDown thing, but because I'm curious, I want to get your thoughts about Nakamura and Sami Zayn and all of it. Yeah,
I love it.
I'm waiting for. It's going to be a big moment when Nakamura goes face again, and they do his old music and bring out the violin player.
Yeah, you have another Nakamura and Sami Zayn match.
Absolutely.
I gotta think about that.
Absolutely, you could do that, and because that's, Zayn's was Nakamura's first opponent in NXT. I think that could be incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I'm trying to think what else from Raw. The man Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks. They're building that up well. That's going to be great.
Alexa Bliss is still number one out of everything. Really quick.
Yes.
I am excited for the Becky Sasha Hell in the Cell match.
Me too.
That should be a lot of fun.
Yep.
We'll make predictions for that in a couple of minutes, but
yes.
I like what they've been doing there. I made kind of like a movie script out of the Sasha Chronicle special that happened a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you saw that in passing or not, but
I haven't had a chance to see it, but I'll take a look.
It was pretty good. Pretty good story. She's still not the Shawn Michaels of women's wrestling. I'm sorry, guys.
Right.
But it is nice to have her back.
Yep.
And I think Becky's done a good job on her promos recently. Real quick, Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler against Heavy Machinery. That was a really good match.
It was a good match. I like the pairing of Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler. I think it's, you're giving them something to do, and they work well together. So I like that pairing, actually.
Yeah, Mr. Perfect and Rick Rude.
That's right. That's right. That's right. No, I like it. I like it a lot. I think that's great.
Was Rick Rude in the Dangerous Alliance?
Was he? I want to say he was, because I'm trying to back to the early '90s.
This is a good trivia question for those listening right now.
Somebody going right now. Of course he was. Why don't these experts know that? No, I think. Yeah. Okay. No. Exactly. No, we are not. We are not experts. I think he was.
He has to be.
Okay. Hold on. I'm going to look this up now. Hold on a second.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of things being lost in the shuffle when it comes to Hell in the Cell, because obviously this is premiere week and you got a lot of different things going on. But I think after SmackDown goes off air, we'll get a clear understanding of what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Okay, there it is. Yep, there it is. Dangerously brought out the Phantom and had him unmasked to reveal the returning ravishing Rick Rude. So there it was.
Wow,
it was.
That's cool.
No, So just overall, I thought Raw was a good show and a good season premiere. So good to them for that.
SmackDown 20th anniversary tomorrow. The Rock is going to be on the show. Really quick, tell me what you would like to see tomorrow and what you excited for the most tomorrow.
Man, it's just we're going to get a lot of nostalgia clips. I think they're going to relive the first SmackDown. I think we'll get a Triple H, Shawn Michaels, talking about they main evented the first show. I think we'll get a little bit of that. Maybe some interaction between them and The Rock, like they did for the 15th anniversary special. Yeah. That was a very cool piece. Getting into the matches themselves. I don't know if we want to do predictions yet, or we want to wait till a little bit later. I don't know. What do you want to do?
You think it's a cool thing that they're doing the 4 horsewomen tag team match on the Fox show?
I do. I think that's very cool. They are the pioneers of the women's division. You can add Natalya in that mix, but so that's going to be very, very, very cool to see. Like I said, I think we're going to see some nostalgia. It'll be nice to see The Rock. The Undertaker will be there, so that will be very cool. Yeah. Sting is going to be there. That's right.
Undertaker and Sting in the ring at the same time. That's my call tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're fighting at Crown Jewel. I'm telling you, man, it's gonna happen.
You said that. I didn't think about that, but yes, you're so right. That's exactly what's going to happen. But do we want to see that? Because you remember when they did Undertaker and Goldberg?
You're going to mark out with the entrances. It doesn't matter what the match is going to like.
I know it. We're going to see that.
Hey, Sting is more nimble than Goldberg is.
But can Sting? But can Sting still wrestle though because of his neck? Because he said he's retired.
Hey, if they're gonna drop a surprise on that show, I think it's Sting and Undertaker.
Absolutely.
Hey, okay, they don't have to fight at Crown Jewel. Is it okay if they have a standoff in the ring?
Absolutely, they can. Absolutely, they can. And then they do that, and then Sami Zayn comes out because you tried to pass me the torch. What's this? And then Undertaker chokeslams him. Sting gives him a scorpion death drop, and then everyone happy. I think that would be great.
That's gonna be insane, man.
That would be very cool. Do you think we get a Stone Cold Steve Austin appearance just because
he is advertised for the show, right?
Yeah, cool. So we're gonna get a lot of legends.
Austin probably get involved in the Kevin Owens Shane McMahon ladder match.
Sure, I can see that. I could see that for sure. Just giving Shane O'Mac the stunner for the old time's sake, and then officially passing off the stunner to Kevin Owens. Then once Kevin Owens wins, Austin gives Owens the stunner too. You have to do it.
I don't want to see tomorrow is Colin Cowherd on camera or anything like that.
Would they do that though?
They're actually doing a blue carpet pre-show on Fox tomorrow. Before
I did see that. Yeah,
that's gonna be pretty cool.
That's gonna be.
By the way, Krista Thompson, grade A. Waterfall.
Yes. Yes. Well done. Yeah. So I think we're going to see a lot of that stuff. The New Day will do their spiel. We'll find out. We'll probably find out some matches that are from the SmackDown side that are going to be coming for Hell in the Cell.
Right.
I imagine we will see. Well, I'll go ahead and give my prediction on this now. I think we are going to have a new WWE champion tomorrow night, and Brock Lesnar is going to win the WWE Championship. Maybe we get a rematch between the two of them at Hell in the Cell, and then Brock wins again. I don't know if we'll get if they'll figure out the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match, if we'll have an Intercontinental Championship match. We'll see what matches get advertised, if there'll be a SmackDown Women's Championship match at Hell in the Cell. Because, like I said, we really have no idea what's happening from the SmackDown side for Hell in the Cell.
You want to start a WrestleMania angle and have Rock cost Brock Lesnar the WWE title?
Oh, see, I don't know though, because I think
or with Roman Reigns fighting Eric Rowan on SmackDown tomorrow, maybe The Rock shows up and feeds off like Luke Harper or something.
Sure.
I don't know.
Well, see, because I also don't think, when Rock said that he had retired officially from professional wrestling, I don't think we're going to see him in one more match unless it's a long time from now, because he's got to focus on his Hollywood career, and he can't. If something were to happen, like that could really mess up his acting career, and he can't do that. Like, he's one of the biggest stars in Hollywood right now. You can't do that. But an appearance here and there and all that stuff, I think would be kind of cool. But the biggest thing. Go ahead.
I'm really excited for tomorrow.
Me too.
I'm curious to see what the stage is going to be like. What if it's something where like you start off the show with Austin, Rock, and John Cena in the ring together?
Man. When was the last time they were all in the ring together? Have they ever all been in the ring together?
No.
Because I know we had Austin, Rock, and Hogan, but we never had Austin, Rock, and Cena.
Rock and Cena's had separate in-ring segments with Austin and The Rock. I do remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I was there for Chicago when Cena first met in the ring with The Rock before WrestleMania 27. That was pretty cool to watch that in person.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let me
you want to kind of rehash what happened at WrestleMania 30?
Oh, sure. Yeah, with this. Okay, let me throw out this wild card. CM Punk.
No.
Okay, because I know that they've talked about maybe him doing some.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Right, even if it's it could be a backstage thing, like.
You know Shane McMahon's going to run with this Best in the World moniker before Survivor Series in Chicago. You know that, right?
Of course he is. So does this mean you think that Shane McMahon beats Kevin Owens tomorrow night?
Yes.
Wow. And then what happens to Kevin Owens? Does he, he's getting fired, fine, but then does he go to Raw? Does he go to NXT?
NXT.
Okay. Interesting. And who would you like to see him feud with in NXT? Matt Riddle, maybe? Or
that's a good question.
Or Pete. Well, no, because Pete Dunne's involved with
Damian Priest.
Right.
I thought that was a cool little angle they did.
Yeah.
They haven't done a lot of angles, obviously, because there's been title matches for the first couple episodes on NXT and USA. So I like that they're doing a little angle stuff here now. So that's cool.
But you could have him go down and face against Matt Riddle, against Velveteen Dream. Man, a Velveteen Dream Kevin Owens match would be awesome. That would be great. So we'll see. But yeah, he could run with that. And then all of a sudden, at Survivor Series, you get the cult of personality. The building would absolutely, that'd be one of the big, Josh, you would be there for one of the biggest pops in the history of Chicago.
All time. Yeah.
If that music hit, if cult of personality hit.
I don't know if I'll make it out of the building if that happens.
No.
I'll probably melt. I had an idea. I think some people were calling for possibly having Imperium against Undisputed Era at War Games.
Ooh.
If that's the case, I would have Kevin Owens join the Undisputed Era.
Oh, that could be cool. Mm-hmm. That could be cool. Yeah, to stand up against Imperium. Yeah, him and Adam Cole together would be and Roderick Strong and Fish and O'Reilly and stuff. That would be cool. A cool stable for sure.
You want to talk about something cool? Make sure to check out Bray Wyatt on the local news.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot about that. That's right. Oh man, yowie wowie. Dude,
that will never.
I will tell you what. WWE's production team is unmatched. Like what they have done with the Bray Wyatt character has been, and I guess from what I understand, Bray Wyatt writes his own segments, and he just lets, hey, this is what I like to do, and they make it absolutely incredible. Yeah, I'm excited for Hell in a Cell too, man. I think it's going to be a great pay-per-view, and I'm usually not big on the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view because I think that gimmick match should be saved for special occasions and not have its own pay-per-view. But they're going to make something cool out of this. Like the Sasha Becky thing will be cool. Seeing the Fiend inside the cell is going to be something. I'm excited about that.
Well, let's get into this. Let's make our predictions for Hell in the Cell.
Yeah.
As we wrap this bad boy up.
I know. It's his last time. Go ahead.
The Fiend against Seth Rollins. I think this match is ending in a no contest because I think Braun Strowman's going to get involved and go after the Fiend for choking him out.
Well, but you can't have a no contest inside Hell in the Cell. Can you?
No, the show goes off air.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And he's laid out, the Seth Rollins is laid out, and then the Fiend, or then Strowman enters, rips down the cage door. That's how the show ends.
Yeah, the Fiend gets into a feud with Braun, his pupil. Think about that.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. I could see that.
Eric Rowan,
I don't know, man.
Mm-hmm.
I was just going to say, they're riding this Bray Wyatt thing. I think Bray Wyatt wins the Universal Championship tomorrow on Sunday night, and they're going to ride this thing because I can see him, in his vignettes. He's got this title. Look, friends, we have this shiny new belt on our table. It's so nice, Bray. I know, and it was all thanks to my friend Seth Rollins. That vignette would be incredible. So I think the Fiend's going to win the Universal Championship on Sunday.
All right, Eric Rowan and Luke Harper against Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan.
I could see this being the moment where Daniel Bryan turns and goes back to his heel character, and then you have a Bryan along with with the Bludgeon Brothers, and that becomes a new stable right there. And I had you plagued all the time, Roman. And then you get into your Roman Reigns Daniel Bryan feud, which I think I think that's been the goal from the start with this whole thing. Has been the Roman Reigns Daniel Bryan feud.
Everybody hates Roman.
That's right.
Really quick, Roman had a little video thing on YouTube on GQ where he went undercover and answered questions and this and that. Roman wears a protective vest. He said no, it's a denim.
You mean denim?
It's denim.
Denim. Jeans, denim.
That's awesome. And then finally, Sasha Banks against Becky Lynch.
Hold on, Josh. What was your prediction for the match?
I'm going with Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns. I'm going with that one. Okay. But what you said could definitely happen. I could totally see that happen.
By the way, how have they not let Eric Rowan talk up until now? He is brilliant on the microphone.
Doing a really good job.
Yeah, he does. His promos are great. I like how he refers to Daniel Bryan as Dan. And Michael Cole is Mike. That's, oh man, I like it. So I'm surprised it's taken him this long to get him a microphone.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if Aleister Black would kind of do an open challenge thing on the pay-per-view.
Oh, where has he been recently?
I don't know. Hey, if you want a random match on the show, have Buddy Murphy accept the match with Aleister Black, and
I'd be okay with that. That'd be great. That'd be great.
All right, one more match to go, Burkhart, before we head out. Sasha Banks against Becky in the Hell in the Cell. This could shock some people. As much as I don't like her, Sasha Banks is becoming your new Raw Women's Champion.
I had thought about that. The only problem I see with that right now is WWE has pushed a lot of mainstream attention with Becky Lynch as the Raw Women's Champion. They just did the Sports Center stuff, and they're still airing those commercials. So if you take the belt off of her, people will get confused.
Not necessarily, because the draft is coming by. That's the reason I have Sasha winning and Becky goes to SmackDown.
Okay, because they are pushing Becky heavily on SmackDown. That's not bad. I'm gonna say Becky retains for now, because you can say Becky retains, and then because she got drafted to SmackDown, they make her have to relinquish the title, and then Sasha can win it then.
That's not a bad idea.
And then have her run the brand that way. So I could see that. Real quick, and I know we're going to wrap this up, but what is the state of the women's division in WWE right now? Because it seems like they're really only, for right now, they're focusing on the 4 horsewomen. You've got, obviously the 4 horsewomen doing a thing, but we're not seeing a lot of Naomi. We're not seeing a lot of, Italian's doing some stuff with Lacey Evans.
Did you see her doing the police skit?
Yes, that was great. Yes, that was awesome. That was terrific. I love that. But we haven't seen a lot of Naomi. We haven't seen a lot of the Iconics. We haven't seen a lot of the Kabuki Warriors. It's just they're focusing on the main force. So what is the state of the women's division in WWE right now, both on Raw and SmackDown?
Well, I think some things get lost in shuffle when it comes to the women's tag team titles. I think they've done a good job of that in separate matches with Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. I think they've done a good job having Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville on television more. And I'm not just saying that because Mandy Rose is God's creation. We already know that. Uh-huh. But nonetheless, I think there's been more emphasis on the title feuds as opposed to the grudge feuds. You would have Carmella and Nikki Bella a couple years ago, or Nikki and Natalya on the side. I think it's been kind of different when they did that a couple years ago. I think Becky was in grudge feuds and this and that. I miss Ronda Rousey. I'm not gonna lie, I do miss Ronda Rousey, and good, more power for her. If she wants to start her family, I have no issue with that whatsoever. No issue with that. I don't think it's in a bad place because you're still having the women in prominent spots on pay-per-views. They're still giving match time. Becky and Natalya started SummerSlam this year, and they had a pretty long match, their title match. Becky and Sasha, I thought, stole the show at Clash of Champions.
That was absolutely.
So I think it's in a good place. Obviously, it's not as much exposure as it was earlier in the year in separate grudge feeds and this and that, but there's more emphasis of character development and title feuds as opposed to grudge feuds and this and that. So,
well, is this a reason why they put the 24/7 championship on Carmella so that we can feature, more of the women doing the 24/7 thing, which is
that was going to happen sooner or later.
Of course it was, and I love it. I still love the 24/7 championship. I think it's absolutely. Oh man, should Drake Maverick's wife win the 24/7 championship?
Yes.
But then they still don't consummate, and she goes and consummates with somebody else.
Wow.
Right? Could you see them doing that though?
I could. I just wonder. Oh no.
What?
Wrong company. There's a wrestler named Ace Austin in Impact. He's kind of like the sleazy guy that comes up with interesting ways to hook up with Alicia Edwards, who's Eddie Edwards' wife.
Right.
He would be a guy that would do that. Fandango, when he was Johnny Curtis, used to do that in the original NXT. So I'm trying to figure out who would do that right now on the roster. So
Ric Flair. I don't.
Jeez. On that note.
No, I don't know. No, it's exciting. Well, here, real quick, Josh, and I know we have to wrap this up. I know this is going long. What do you think is going to happen at the draft next week? Is it next week? No, 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah. I do see Becky going to SmackDown. Well, I'll definitely get more depth into this next week, but I think Roman's obviously staying there. Seth probably still be on Raw, which is fine. I think Randy Orton will go to Raw. Well, I'd like to see Aleister Black go to Raw because I think there's gonna be more emphasis on wrestling. I think on Raw as the months go by. So that'd be a recommendation on my end. But
well, then could you see somebody like Ricochet going to SmackDown then? Because
possibly,
Ricochet is very entertaining. In addition to his great in-ring.
I'm pretty sure Andrade and Charlotte will still be on SmackDown.
Yeah.
I think Daniel Bryan's going to Raw.
I would like. Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
If he's not turning back to the bad guy, he probably goes to Raw.
Yeah, that's fine. Because I'm trying to think who from Raw. Because like you said, it's going to be more of the entertainment thing on SmackDown. So Brock Lesnar is going to be WWE champion. Yeah. I'll be curious to see how they do that if they keep Brock off TV for a long time and he becomes the attraction again. Every now and then.
Certain Bobby Lashley and Rusev will be on Raw.
Yes, Bobby. Yes, that is correct. I could see R-Truth and Carmella staying on SmackDown because they're very entertaining.
I think that's the only overlapping thing that's going to happen with the rosters is the 24/7 title.
That could be. Well, again, it's 24/7. You never know. Okay, here's another question for you, and I know I'm kind of because I'm just thinking about this. Who is going to be the first female celebrity to win the 24/7 championship?
Oh God, that's a good question.
The first one that thought to mind is Maria Menounos.
Hopefully not Cardi B.
Oh God. No. Or who is that waterfall you were talking about when we were talking about Colin Cowherd?
Well, from Fox?
Yeah.
Carissa Thompson?
I can see her winning the 24/7 championship too.
I'm not opposed to that.
Oh man.
I kind of feel bad for Joy Taylor, who's kind of like the what do you call it, the news lady? Does news segments on the Colin Cowherd show.
Yeah. Oh, Aaron Andrews could win the 24/7 championship.
Every dude, don't put the title on Joe Buck.
Oh God, no. No, because you put.
No, you could do that because that'd get good heat. He would eat that stuff up, man.
Oh gosh, I love it. I think that's terrific. Oh man, dude, this has been fun. It's been great to be back with you, man.
It's been a blast. Any final words you want to mention before we head out this week?
No, just it's just a pleasure to be back. It's been nice to have an hour-and-a-half episode of the Thoughts of Derico. As we start to get going with things, I'll try to get more episodes of the the true flagship segment of the Hoots podcast, which is the Thoughts of Derico. So we'll try to get some more of that when I can. But just check out my stuff on Wrestling Rumors. I have WrestlingRumors.net. I write a few articles here and there. Just glad to be back. It's always a treat to get to talk with you, to talk some wrestling. And I hope it's not 3 months until I'm back on this particular podcast. So thanks again for having me, Brother Adam. It's always a treat to be with you, my friend. Thanks for letting me be a small part of this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Brother Carter, you don't understand how hard it is to be.
Oh, hey.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for checking out episode 175 of the Hoots Podcast. You can follow me on Twitter at the Hoots Podcast. I'm on Instagram at Joshie Lopez 94. Also, make sure to check out ProWrestlingTranscriptions.com. For those who want to listen to the audio version of the show, make sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And tell a friend about the show. And we want some honest feedback from the show. I do care about what you think about the show. If there's any suggestions or things you want me to do differently on here, I'm open to any suggestions, positive or negative. So thank you guys for the support. We love you guys. Have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the 20th anniversary of SmackDown. Make sure to enjoy Hell in a Cell as well. For Brother Carter, I'm Brother Adam. Thank you guys so much for checking out episode 175 of the Hoots Podcast. Yes, sir. Peace.